The Celtic Forever podcast is a zero advert and zero profit channel. The channel also includes Celtic highlights and player interviews, so join the uninterrupted fun and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.
Hello everybody, this is the Celtic Forever podcast. I am Xander. I've got John here as well to go through everything Celtic. And there's been a lot happening since the last time we were on, so let's bring in John right away. How are you, John? How's things just now?
Aye, all right. Interesting week here. Very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, so many things have changed dramatically since the last time we were on. But we're going to go through it all because we're going to have a wee say on things. Just a quick mention of the competition. We always like to start with the league competition, the Correct Score League. 25 players in the league. Get your guess in for the Glasgow Derby on Sunday. One guess each into the comments. 3 points on the board if you get the score right. And because it's the Halloween weekend, I'm going to give a bonus. Halloween weekend, if you get the score right and the first goal scorer, that can be a Celtic player or a Rangers player, we'll give a bonus point. So there you go. That's your Halloween weekend bonus. If you get the correct score and the first goal scorer, you get an extra bonus point. So there you go. Good luck everybody with that. Right, John, that's enough of that because we've got so much to go through. And where do we start? Where else but Brendan Rodgers leaving the club, John? He's away. He's off ski. He's resigned. You know, he resigned. So he wasn't sacked. So Rodgers is off skate. Martin O'Neill's came in on temporary charge, John. He's in temporary charge just now. He got the win against midweek. Didn't see the game, by the way, folks. I did not see any of the game. So if we talk about the game, it's going to have to be what John saw because I missed the entire game. I was busy Wednesday night. But John, a good start for Martin O'Neill. 4-0 win. By all accounts, very comfortable.
Aye, and before you go further on, the competition for the weekend's game, it's only over 90 minutes. Scores after that don't count, so your score prediction is only over 90 minutes, the first 90 minutes, because it's a cup game.
Yeah, bang on, John. 90 minutes. If you've got the score correct after 90 minutes, that's it. The 3 points are yours. But if it goes into extra time and your score is correct after extra time and it's changed from the 90 minute score, then it doesn't count. So yeah, well remembered, John. Well said. Right, back to this, John. I mean, you know, things were very, very gloomy at Celtic. They really were, with everything that was going on. You know, we're struggling to beat teams like Dundee, struggling to beat Hearts, and struggling in Europe. Things were not great at all. But, you know, it's still a great start for Martin O'Neill. And it looks as though the gloom has lifted very slightly.
Aye, well, it's lifted slightly, aye. There's a lot of mixed emotions with Celtic fans right now, who they want in charge next. A lot of Celtic fans are, you know, they're wanting Martin O'Neill to stay, I think. A lot of Celtic fans like what they've seen from Martin O'Neill. I'm going by the performance I seen on Wednesday night. I don't know if the players just get a lift because Brendan Rodgers is away. Well, I don't know what was happening behind the scenes, but by all accounts, it seems the departure of Brendan Rodgers seems to have given the players a lift.
Yeah, I put that wee video on with all the players smiling at full time. And players normally smile after a win, but that you could tell it was different. There was a relaxation about the squads when they walked around the stadium at full time against Falkirk. So that was nice to see, actually. That was quite good to see. And we want to take that sort of good feeling into Hampden on Sunday, don't we, John? But this all kicked off, John, on what night was it? This all kicked off. Was it Friday night, Thursday night? I can't really remember. It was after the HEATS. Was it Monday night? Sorry, yeah, Monday. Yeah. The statement from Dermot Desmond, John. The statement, pretty cutting statement, actually. Sort of an attack on Brendan Rodgers. I put the video on that as well, actually. The podcast has not been on since Monday, John, but the coverage on the channel of this whole situation has been right up to date. We've put videos on for statements, we've put videos on with interviews, we've put videos on for practically absolutely everything that's happened during this whole situation, John. So we're right up to date that way, but we've not had our say on it. But the statement itself, John, what did you think?
It's hard to say, and I really don't know. There's always two sides to our stories, is what I always say. I mean, I'm not just going to go by what Desmond just says. I'd like to hear Brendan Rodgers' side of the story, which he says nothing so far. But apparently he could be a pundit on the TV panel for Sunday's game.
Is that right? Okay, I never saw that, John. If that's the case, that'd be very interesting. That'd be a very interesting watch. So I just seen that somewhere, and I don't know if there's any truth in it. I seen it a couple of days ago, and I don't know if there's any truth in that, but it would be interesting. Be very interesting, John. And that's obviously the game's on Premier Sports, so he would be part of the panel. That would be very interesting indeed. Right, John. So okay, yeah, you want to hear both sides of the story. I would like to hear what Brendan's got to say as well, to be honest with you. Things were clearly not right at the club, and they still aren't right, John. There's still a lot of troubled waters to sail over, shall we say, John. Things are still not right at the club, but Martin has came in, he's steadied the ship for that one game. We're hoping he steadies the ship for another game, and it's a vital game, John. Martin O'Neill in charge for a Glasgow derby, John. That'd be strange to see after 20 years.
It certainly would. 6-2 was his first derby match. It used to be an Old Firm derby in the days, didn't it? Although some people like to still call it Old Firm, I don't know why, but Martin O'Neill, his first derby match was obviously against Rangers, but the 6-2 game, which I had a dream about last night, Celtic beat them 6-2. Anybody fancy that for the predictor?
Yeah, well, the way the goals have been going in and Celtic conceding goals, John, it's it would be interesting, John, if Celtic do get a high scoring win over Rangers. That would be, where would the board go then, John? Obviously we're talking hypothetical just now, but say Martin O'Neill does get the win over Rangers on Sunday, and it's not impossible, of course. Where do the board turn to then, John? Do they ask Martin to stay on for the rest of the season, or do they still look for a new manager?
It's hard to say, isn't it? We really don't know. Martin's came in and he did it. The difference I've seen in Celtic, and that 90 minutes, Celtic were a completely different animal, completely different. It was just so direct, forward constantly. Nothing was played backwards, unless it really had to be played backwards. You've got to take safety first into account in any game. But 95% of that game was get it forward. And that's why you've seen Celtic with something like, 28 shots or something like that in the game. A vast improvement. A lot more passes as well, by the way, than recent times as well. But I just thought Celtic looked maybe a wee bit vulnerable at the back because they were attacking so much. So you've got to be careful with that as well. So these things will be taken into account when it comes to Martin O'Neill as well. Both sides of the game, the defensive side as well, because when you look back on Martin O'Neill's Celtic career, one thing he always had was an ultra solid defence.
Yeah, he's obviously just kept coming in here, John, to steady that ship, as we said. So not his players, obviously. That goes without saying. So he's only going to have to work with the squad that he's got there. And he's done a no bad job in the first 90 minutes there. From what I'm hearing, it was totally different, John. It was more fluent, more attacking. So we just hope that's the case against Rangers, because the last few games against the Rangers, John, it's been the same old story. Sideways, back the ways, not good enough. This sort of a passing the ball out the park, passing the ball direct to opposite players, John. I'm sure Martin will draw that out, the players.
I certainly hope so, because I'm getting sick looking at that. There was a couple of occasions the other night where they passed it straight out the park. I think it was 2 occasions. Liam Scales, long ball to the forward player. Just try to get it forward quick. Too much pace on them, etc. Just a couple of occasions there. But look, listen, by the way, anybody listening, we're not getting carried away by beating Falkirk 4-0 at Celtic Park. That should be a gimme against Falkirk at Celtic Park. But what I took out of Falkirk as well, John McGlynn has obviously had his team battling for everything in that game, by the way. So The 4-0 scoreline, it sounds a bit one-sided, but I thought Falkirk played excellent, by the way. They were physical, they attacked. Casper Schmeichel had to pull off a few saves. They played well in the game, but just Celtic were concentrating on getting that ball forward, so it kind of left them vulnerable a wee bit as well, you know. But Falkirk battled for everything.
Yeah, that's it, John. That's what I heard. You know, once that first goal goes in, that's it. Into, you know, their heads will go down, etc. So we'll get into the Falkirk game in a wee couple of minutes, John. We'll continue with the news and we'll do the preview of the Rangers derby in about 15 minutes, folks. So we will get there eventually. It's just there's so much to talk about just now, John. There's it's been very interesting. It really has. Okay, so let's have a wee look at the favourites for the Celtic job then. The ones that are, you know, top of the list, if you like. Well, Kieran McKenna of Ipswich, but that'll cost Celtic a few million pounds because he's just signed a 4-year contract. We have Big Ange, obviously he's still there kicking about. He's not got a club just now, so the big man, he's still available. Robbie Keane, he is with Ferencváros just now. Robbie Keane, he's just won the league with Ferencváros actually, so be Robbie Keane winning leagues, so he's one of the favourites as well. Craig Bellamy, we all remember Craig Bellamy, brilliant wee player for us for that one season, although we didn't win the league that season. But he's in management, John. He's managing Wales just now. He's another one that's a potential candidate. Mark O'Neill, clearly, he's got a few games to show what he can do, I suppose. So he's still in the running, clearly. And Lee Carsley is the other one, John. So there's a few there on the list, but obviously every one of the names could mean absolutely nothing, John. Not one of them could get the job potentially. We've just gone by rumour, obviously, because that's all we can go by just now. Brendan Rodgers, John. He's not had his reply yet. We hope he doesn't reply until after the Rangers game because we don't want any more unnecessary headlines, shall we say, John. We just want to get this Rangers game out the road and then we'll hear what Brendan's got to say. But already, John, he's been linked with a job already in England, and that's Wales, bottom of the league, Wales. He is one of the favourites. If indeed they lose this weekend, John, they're going to lose their manager, and Rodgers is heavily linked with that job.
Well, managers don't get much time down there in the Premiership. You've got to hit the ground running, as Andrews found out. He had a couple of seasons at Tottenham, right enough, he did okay there. But his job at Nottingham Forest, what was it? I don't know how many games it was. Was it 9 games or something like that, sacked?
Yeah.
I don't know how many games exactly it was. Wasn't many anyway. So Brendan Rodgers, he'll be fully aware what he's walking into down there. By the way, good luck to Brendan. I don't know what the script is, but he won his 2 titles and gave us 2 cups as well in his last tenure there. So look, good luck to Brendan. I'm not saying anything bad about the guy because I don't know the full story.
Yeah, that's it. We don't know the story, but clearly there's something wrong throughout the club, John, and we hope this gets fixed very quickly. And it's a good start, as we said, against Falkirk. So onwards and upwards. And John Kennedy, John, his 25-year association with the club is over as well. He's also away. So whatever's happened, we don't know what's happened behind the scenes clearly. But good luck to Big Kennedy as well.
Absolutely, aye. Good luck to both of them until I hear what the story is. But well, I don't know. All I know is what I watched on Wednesday night. The players were playing with smiles on their faces and all that stuff at the end as well as you put the video up. Players all smiling, they all looked happy. They looked like a bunch of pals that had just got together for the first time in 10 years or something. They were all happy, they were loving it. It looks like a weight's been lifted off their shoulders, if I'm being honest, by what I've seen.
Yeah. Well, as you say, John, when was the last time you've seen the boys smiling like that and playing like that? So there's an immediate change, and we just hope that continues, John, because we've clawed that league gap back on Hearts slightly with that 2 each draw with St Mirren in midweek there, John. We'll go through all that later on, all the results that happened in midweek. We'll go through that. But that's the gap closed to 6 now, John, already after the Hearts game. So Hearts celebrating winning leagues, totally, premature, John, totally uncalled for, to be honest with you. Their celebrations, it was pathetic. And that's the league the lead clawed back to 8 points already after one game. So, as I say, we'll get into that a wee bit later on. Right, John, let's have a wee, in fact, before we move on to the Falkirk game, we'll have a wee quick word, 5 minutes on the Falkirk game before we get to the Glasgow Derby. I've noticed everywhere, John, there's a lot of people getting fed up with Celtic podcasters. I don't know if you're saw it or not, but I've saw it all over the place. And but they're not talking about podcasts like us, John, small podcast, few hundred views. We just sit here and we talk about Celtic. They're talking about podcasts that are going on to Sky Sports, podcasts that are going on to BBC Sports, podcasts that are going on to STV, podcasts that are on the radio. We don't do any of that, clearly, John. We just sit here, we talk about Celtic, we give an honest opinion. But there's a lot of people getting annoyed about the bad name that some of these podcasters are giving Celtic, John, going on to these, national companies, national media companies, and, spouting stuff about Celtic. There's some of it isn't true, etc., John. So I've noticed a lot of the supporters getting annoyed about that.
I can't say I've noticed because I don't watch any podcasts or I don't watch BBC and I don't watch Celtic channels generally. I don't watch Celtic channels, I just watch Celtic. But I do watch some Celtic videos, obviously highlights and stuff, and I read the comments, but so far I haven't read any of that. I'll take your word for it, but you know me, I don't watch any of that stuff. But look, I stopped watching Celtic podcasts well before we started doing this, long before we started doing this a few years ago. That's how informed I am when it comes to Celtic podcasts. I'm just no interest in them.
Yeah, it's not the podcast though, John. It's the fact that they're going on to national media companies, Sky Sports, BBC Sports and radio stations, John.
Who's the podcast? Well, you don't need to name them, but I take it I know who they are.
Yeah, you know who they are. They're the big one, the big podcast, John. And it's actually a shame because we don't want a club being dragged through the dirt like that. We can keep it in-house, we can talk, and we can keep it in-house. Anyway, John, let's move on. Let's get to the Falkirk game. I didn't see any of it, and I still haven't seen any of it. I haven't seen a goal, haven't seen nothing. All I've seen is the wee walk around at the very end because I put the video on with that. But I've not seen any of the action, John. So, well, quickly run through what happened. Johnny Kenny clearly got the first goal in the 30th minute. Then they scored another one in the 40th minute. Then Nygren got the third in the second half in the 58th minute. And Tonetti scored the fourth goal in the 73rd minute. John, one club since 1888 said 5-0. There was still over 20 minutes there to get another goal. So he was unlucky not to get his 5-0. But no, John, good to see young Johnny Kenny after his last few games not finding a net. He finds himself scoring a double.
Aye, a couple of goals for Johnny Kenny. Can't say any more than that. A couple of headed goals as well. Quite tall, Johnny Kenny. I never realised he was so tall. I'd say maybe about 6 feet or something like that. He's got a wee bit of height about him. He took his two finishes well. Was the first one a header? I can't even remember, to be honest with you. No, the first one was a tap-in, actually. It was the goalkeeper saved it and parried it out to him and he smashed it into the net. Mm. The second one was a cross that he headed away from the keeper into the far corner, which was a lovely finish. Nygren gets a goal again. He had a few chances in the game, Nygren. And Tonetti with his kind of solo effort. That was a nice wee finish. That's the one that beat you for the correct result, Tonetti's goal.
Yeah, I said the 3-0, didn't I, John? So, so that was the goals anyway. Nothing else happened in the game that stood out, John? Any sort of bad tackles, anything like that?
There was a wee incident with Arfield. Was it Tonetti? He had a go. Well, I'm not saying that. Arfield, I don't think there was much in it, to be honest with you, but the Celtic players reacted to him and squared up to him and a stramash broke out. Now, that's how much it meant to Falkirk, by the way. They were fighting for every Bodzander, even at 4-0. Obviously, McGlynn says to them, they're in a vulnerable state. If there's any chance of us beating them, it's tonight. Go get them. And you could see that in their players, the way they were fighting for everything. I'm surprised a couple of the players were in the centre-half, actually, because there was quite a few late tackles. But the Arfield one, I think, because he's an ex-Rangers player, it kind of stands out, doesn't it? He was getting into a few tackles, but nothing bad. A few yellow cards. I think Celtic had one yellow card. Falkirk maybe 2 or 3, can't remember. But it wasn't a lot of dirty game. It was just a lot of 22 players desperate to win the game. That's the kind of game it was. It was very old school, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, fair enough, John. And we'll do a individual player scoring for that one with you only, John, and we'll match it up against the BBCs again. So we'll get yours and I'll give you the BBCs. But a man of the match for you, John, just before we do that.
Hard to say again. I can't remember the whole game, but players that stood out to me on the night, Austin Trusty, I thought he had an outstanding game, the big man. He never put a foot wrong. I'd probably give it to Callum McGregor, actually. Callum McGregor would get my man of the match for that particular game.
That's good, John, because he played well against Hearts as well, McGregor, and by the sounds of things, he's played good against Falkirk as well. Right, John, individual player scorings, let's quickly run through it, and you can run through it actually, John, because you want to watch the game. We'll start with Big Schmeichel.
Kept a clean sheet, pulled off a few saves. Falkirk were attacking, remember, they had a good few chances. Casper kept us in the game. I'll give Casper an 8. I thought he was outstanding. Yeah,
7.1 for the BBC, John. And then I don't know who the team was. Who was playing on the right? Was it Ralston?
Ralston, aye. Kind of mediocre game, usual Anthony Ralston, hot and cold kind of performance. But that annoys me about Celtic fullbacks, is the amount of time they take a throw in. That really annoys me sometimes. Anthony Ralston, give him a 6.5. He was alright. It wasn't bad, you know. He was alright.
Oh, yeah, clean sheet for a defender, isn't it, John? 6.8 from the BBC. Then it was Big Trusty, as you say, John.
Big man was outstanding. He gets an 8 for me.
6.9 for the BBC.
Nah, that's ridiculous. He was better than that, Xander. He never lost a ball all night.
Yeah, but that's what they gave him, John. That's fair enough. If you think it was better, then fair enough. I didn't see any of it. Then it was Big Scalesy, obviously, playing beside him. How did he get on?
A couple of wee shady moments and a couple of kick the ball at the park moments from the big man. Didn't have a terrible game. No, the best. I'll give him a 6.5.
7.2 for the BBC.
He did better than Trusty.
Yeah.
There's no chance that's the case. I don't know who's marking that up. That's very far from the truth.
Yeah, we'll move on, John. Sriracha,
outstanding. 8.5. I thought that guy was outstanding on the night. He was up and down the park. He was constantly throwing balls into the box. In fact, very close contender for man of the match. He was outstanding. 8.5 for me.
Okay. He got 8.7 for the BBC. Then in midfield, Callum.
Again, another player that was outstanding. He was putting his weight about. He was back to his old self. He gets an 8.5 as well.
Yeah, 7.2. Who was playing in midfield? Was it Nygren and Engels?
Aye, Nygren and Engels.
Nygren first then, John.
Again, it can be frustrating at times, Nygren. Got his goal right enough. Set up a goal as well. Or did they set up two? I can't remember. Honestly, you should do these podcasts right after the game. I know you can't, but I would remember more that way. But Nygren, frustrating, but setting up a couple of goals and getting one himself. Got to give him a 7, Xander.
Yeah, 7.3, and obviously I was busy Wednesday night, John, couldn't do anything like that. Okay, and Engels, Arnie Engels.
Again, not outstanding. He did okay though, better than usual. Slightly better than usual. I'll give him a 5.5.
Alright, okay, 6.8 for the BBC.
Nonsense.
Then up front we had, I don't know who was on the wings. It was Forrest, wasn't it? He started the game.
Jamesy Forrest rolling back the years with a terrific display. I thought wee Jamesy was fantastic. 7.5.
Yeah, 7 for the BBC. And Tonic Tate on the left.
Took that finish lovely. Getting involved in everything as per usual. Had a good game. No, maybe no quite as good as Jamesy Forrest. Give him a 7 tonight.
7.6 he got from the BBC Sports Sound. And Johnny Kenny up front, John.
Look, he's banged in 2 goals without being magnificent. He did get his 2 goals, so we've got to give him a 7 for that.
Yeah, 8.3 from the BBC.
He scored 2 goals, but it's not an 8.3 performance. No. Who's screening these markings, by the way?
Somebody in the BBC. Right, John, I didn't even look too far into it. We'll move on, right, John. That's it. Man of the match, sorry, who's your man of the match? I think you gave it already, didn't you, Callum?
Callum McGregor or Sriracha. Sriracha was outstanding, by the way. I maybe changed it to Sriracha because I thought that guy, he dictated the pace of the game. It looked like to me he was up and down, constantly creating stuff, and he was outstanding. Sandy, you need to try and find a rerun of the game and watch it just to see for yourself. The difference he makes next to Kieran Tierney it's a different level. Honestly, he should start on Sunday. He was outstanding. I'm going to change my man of the match to Sriracha.
Yeah, I heard he was really good, actually, to be fair. Right, John, let's get into this Glasgow Derby. Let's move on. There's a lot to get through, very little time to do it. Celtic versus the Rangers on Sunday, 2 o'clock kick-off, Premier Sports. It's on the telly, half and half stadium, John. Obviously, we had that allocation slashed of Rangers, 500 fans less because of the pyrotechnics at the last one, or the last set of semi-finals. So both sets of supporters will have 500 less. This one, as I say, John, 2 o'clock on Sunday. We have the referees for this one. Man in the middle is Nick Walsh. Good luck to Nick Walsh. Hopefully he has a good game. And on the VAR, we have Stephen McLean and Dallas, John. He's assisting McLean on the VAR. So that's your two men on the VAR and your referee. I'll not mention the linesman. There's no point. In fact, what's the point in even having linesmen? they get overruled every time anyway. Right, John. We quick look at the betting on this one. We quick look at that. It's always interesting when it's a Glasgow derby. We've got Celtic at 10-11. We've got Rangers at 3-1. And we have the draw also at 3-1. That's after 90 minutes, of course. Celtic's slight favourites there, but, we're not hot favourites, shall we say, and you can understand why with everything that's been going on. Alistair Johnson, obviously out of this one. Vickers, clearly out of this one. He'll be out for the rest of the season, we think. Jota, who should return on January, hopefully. That's your three main injuries for Celtic, John. We're hoping that Iniacho will return, but I think he'll still be a doubt for this one. Kieran Tierney should be okay to return, and Dyson Meader is clearly okay to return with him coming on against Falkirk in midweek there. So that's your team news. Let's have a look at the Rangers team news very quickly. Sterling, he is still out injured. Matondo, he's also still out injured. And Connor Barron, he is suspended for this one, John. But apart from that, they have a full squad to pick from. Anything to say about any of that, John?
No, not really. No, okay. I mean, obviously, no, I don't care about their team. I always think it's all about Celtic for me. But Cameron Carter-Vickers and Alistair Johnson missing, that's half our defence, our best defenders. But Kieran Tierney, I just don't think Kieran Tierney should start this one. And I just look at Sriracha, he's a better left back.
Yeah, but what I'm hearing, he was outstanding against Falkirk. You've got to take into account the fact we were at home and who we were up against, John. And that's, if we would have lost that game, then that wouldn't have been the case. We've been going on about how we've lost against a decent Falkirk team, John. But no, because we won the game, people are saying, oh, it was only Falkirk. Celtic manager can't win, really, let's be honest. Right, John. Okay, predicted starting 11 then. John, this is down to you, my friends. I'll quickly run through the Rangers predicted starting 11. John, gives you a wee minute to think about what you think the Celtic one will be. I think it'll be much changed for the team that started on Wednesday night, to be honest, maybe with the exception of Dyson Maeda. And maybe what's his name, Kieran Tierney, possibly. But the Rangers team, John, predicted lineup for the Rangers team is Butland in goal, Deja, Suter, Cornelius, Tavernier, Diamond, Raskin, Megoma, Gassama, Danilo, he's back in the frame, and Moore. That's my starting 11 for them. Don't know any about many of their players, John. Obviously, the obvious ones I know about Butland, I know about Suter, Tavernier, Diamond, but the rest I don't really know. We got the wee short guy Raskin as well, John. We don't want him scoring headers against us again, that's for sure. But the starting 11 for Celtic, John, I'll let you pick through that.
Again, like you says, it's tough to pick a starting 11 right now with Martin O'Neill coming in. It's hard to pick anything with Celtic, try to get the right score and all that. It's so unpredictable, Celtic, right now. But I'll go for Kasper Schmeichel. Look, he's not going to get dropped to him. Brendan loved him, and it seems Martin O'Neill's a big fan as well. Martin O'Neill likes to pick experience, of course. So that's kind of explains that one. So, aye, Kasper Schmeichel, William Scales, and Austin Trusty. With right hand side, Anthony Ralston, I think. With Sriracha on the left. I'd like to see Tierney and Sriracha start. Maybe Tierney push him out to the right or something like that. I don't know, but I'm going to go for Ralston and Sriracha right now.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the players in position, John, but I would love to see that as well. If Scotland can play Tierney on the right, then Celtic can as well, and get that extra quality onto the field. I agree with you.
Experience is under in it. Experience and quality. Yeah. I like Kieran Tierney. He's just not been performing since he came back, but he does add something extra.
Yeah.
But I think on the left, I think Sriracha right now at this moment, Sriracha's the stronger left back. Anyway, centre of the park. I don't know if Arne Engels is going to start this one, but it's going to be McGregor with Nygren anyway. But the other one could be Rio Hatate. He was rested against Falkirk, came on as a sub.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Don't know what's in Martin's mind right now. But I'm going to go for Hatate anyway with McGregor and Nygren up front. Dyson's back. Connected on the left, Dyson through the middle, James Forrest on the right.
All right, John, so you're not going with... the only other way I would maybe think is to stick McKennie up front with Dyson on the right and Tenecti on the left. That's a possibility as well, I suppose. Yeah,
James,
but that's it, John.
James Forrest, Sander. James Forrest was outstanding though. Like he was rolling back the years. He looked like a 23-year-old James Forrest.
Yeah, and it's when he turns up against Rangers, John, into that. When Forrest has some issues, I think. I know he's played a couple of good games against Rangers, but a lot of the time he's nowhere to be seen against Rangers. So we'll wait and see, John. We'll wait and see it on Sunday. I would rather see Dyson on the right and Tenecti on the left with young man Kenny up front, because he'll be flying, John. He'll be full of confidence just now, Kenny, after his double. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. Right, John, that brings us nicely on to the predictor then for this week, and I'm going to mention the predictor for the last 2 weeks as well. That we've sort of a no mention because they never had the time and stuff like that, John. Where will I start? We'll start with the predictor for a couple of weeks ago, John. I got Celtic against Glasgow City, right? So that was one for me. But you've had two right on top of that since, John. You got the Aberdeen and Hibs game. Was it midweek or last week? Can't remember, John. And the Falkirk against Dundee United, was it, John? Falkirk, Dundee United, you got that as well, John. So that's another two for you. So that makes it was 14, so it's now 16-7, is it, John? I think I make that 16-7. Extra two for you and an extra one for me. Yeah, 16-7 it is, John. And nobody got any right in midweek there at all. No one got the score prediction right either for the league table on your left or right hand side, whatever side it pops up on. So we need to get a correct winner this weekend, John, because if any of our competition entries get this one right, then Celtic will be into the final.
Aye, well, this is it. I mean, it's a long way off that, isn't it? Sunday, it seems a million miles away when you're waiting for a derby game, doesn't it? Yeah, come this Friday night, John. It's still a wee while away, and anything can happen between now and then as well. You know, players pulling out with injuries and stuff like that on training, but as it stands, John, we go with what we know just now. But as you say, John, it's a long wait to come Sunday, and it's not a 12 o'clock kick-off on Sunday as well. It's a 2 p.m. kick-off, so there's that wee bit longer as well, John, into it's absolute torture. When you wake up on Sunday morning, you always wake up about 6 in the morning, there's still about 6 hours to go. Now this time there's going to be about 8 hours to go. Yeah, it's a long way, isn't it? It seems a million miles away, especially a 2 o'clock kick-off, because you wake up in these derby day games and it's you're up at 5 in the morning waiting for it.
Yeah, that's it, John. That's it. You wake up early and you can't get back to sleep. Anyway, John, let's get back onto this predictor. We'll quickly run through what everybody else thinks the score's going to be, John, as in bookmakers and sporting websites, things like that, John. Ladbrokes, they got the Hearts game right, John, didn't they? They said 2-1 to Hearts and it was 3-1. They're saying 3-2 to Celtic, John. Ladbrokes are saying 3-2 to Celtic. Coral bookmakers, they're also saying 3-2 to Celtic. Sporting News are saying 2-1 to Rangers. Never heard of Sporting News, but anyway, there you go. And the footballpredictor.net are saying 2-1 to Celtic, John. So a lot of people are thinking a win for Celtic. That's what obviously we do want to happen. But it brings us nicely onto the predictor then, John. We'll start with you. Starting for you right away. Celtic versus Rangers on Sunday, John. What's your thoughts this lovely Halloween night?
Look, it's the hardest game on earth to predict. Anybody saying this score and that score, they've not got a clue. You can't just predict a result like that. I know. It's the biggest game in the calendar, isn't it? The Scottish calendar, the Glasgow Derby.
Yeah.
And it's always been unpredictable, unless, like, the last few years Celtic have been flying. You could predict a Celtic win, but predicting the correct score in this game, nah, good luck with that. But anyway, all that aside, I'm going to predict a 2 each and Celtic to win in extra time. 2 each for me, Xander.
Okay, yeah, that's going to be goals in this one, although Rangers are struggling to score goals. I know they scored a couple against Kamala, but in Europe and against Hibs, etc., John, struggling. When they play a half-decent team, I hope Celtic turn up and are half-decent, John, because if they are half-decent, Rangers will struggle. And I'll say 2-0 to Celtic, John. 2-0 for me. Okay, John, let's get into the rest of the predictor for this weekend. There's maybe about 7 in this one. Good luck to the champions, by the way, on Sunday, but that goes without saying. We'll start with the ladies' game, John, on Friday night, tonight, Halloween night. Celtic ladies, Hampden Accies versus Celtic. 8 o'clock kickoff. What's your prediction for that one, buddy?
Oh, Celtic against Hamilton.
Yeah, Hamilton away from home. Yeah.
Look, I've never watched Hamilton ladies team. Is it ladies you're talking about?
Yeah,
My mind was away thinking about the game on Sunday there, Xander, when you says that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Celtic ladies against Hamilton. I've never watched Hamilton ladies getting all excited about this game. Can I speak?
Yeah, the thing is, Celtic ladies actually use Hamilton's New Douglas Park, is it? Celtic ladies actually use that stadium as their home. So it's more or less a home game for Celtic, isn't it?
I've never seen Celtic ladies playing there. I've seen them playing at, what's the one in Cumbernauld? I can't remember what it's called. The one in Cumbernauld anyway, Clyde's ground. I don't know. I'll go for because I know nothing about Hamilton ladies. I've never watched them, never seen them. I don't know where they are on the table, but I'm going to go for a Celtic ladies to win it 5-1.
Yeah, the weekend before last, Celtic played in Hamilton's ground, John, and lost. The ladies, they're not doing too well. But as Hampden Accies, John, and I'll say 8-0 to Celtic ladies. Wow.
Oh, that's big thinking.
Yeah, that's big thinking, isn't it? You never know. All right, John, let's get on to the real stuff. I'm not saying the ladies' game isn't the real stuff, but, well, it isn't. Let's get into the real McCoy. And it's Motherwell, John. Decent team, Motherwell, against St Mirren. Also a decent team. The other semi-final on Saturday, John. That's going to be a very interesting watch. Whoever gets Motherwell or St Mirren in the final, they're going to have a game in their hands, whether it's Celtic or Rangers. We'll find out on Sunday. But the first semi-final is on Motherwell against St Mirren.
Yeah, it's got all the makings of a good game, that one. I look forward to watching that one, actually. I'm starting to really like St Mirren and the way Stevie Robinson's got his team playing. And I'm going to back St Mirren here to beat Motherwell 3-1.
Right, I'm going to go with the draw in 90 minutes, John. One each at 90 minutes at full time. That'll go to extra time on Saturday, I think. We were on St Mirren, John. They get that draw against Hearts in midweek there. That was pathetic, John. A perfectly good goal disallowed from what I'm hearing. Never saw it myself. That was 3-1 to St Mirren, John. The goal got disallowed. And then Hearts break up the park practically right away, John, and get the equaliser to make it 2 each. But it finished to 2 each, John, so we're happy with that, I suppose. But Hearts still carrying a lot of luck.
Hearts are rotten, Xander. I'll tell you right now, I says it before, they're a rotten team. The amount of luck they carry. And like I says, when they played against Celtic, they didn't need to show up to beat Celtic. Celtic assisted them in everything. They're 3 goals for you, Hearts. There you go, take them. We don't want them. Just passing the ball straight to the players constantly assisting them. And you offer any team that up on a plate, they're going to bite your hand off. But Hearts, for me personally, they will fall shortly. That's coming. It's already started with St Mirren.
Yeah, that's it.
But trust me, they will not be champions at the end of the season. Anybody, Rangers fans or Celtic fans listening, Hearts will not be champions at the end of this season. I guarantee you that, and they will fall, and it's coming.
Yeah. Okay, John. Okay, we'll move on. Hearts against Dundee.
They'll win this one. I think they'll win. I think they'll win this one, Hearts. I'll go for a narrow win. I'll say Dundee turned Celtic over, didn't they? They could say that wasn't a great achievement the way Celtic were playing that day. So did Hearts. Look, it could go either way this one, but I'll go for Hearts to win it 2-0.
1-0 to Dundee, John. I know there's goals in Hearts, there really is, but I think big praise though. Yeah.
But big thinking again.
Yeah, big thinking, and we've got the thinking cap on this week. Just as well I'm not putting money on this, innit? All right, John, good luck to Dundee anyway. Falkirk against Kilmarnock.
Falkirk against Kilmarnock. Look, I watched Falkirk obviously against Celtic. I've watched them a good few times this season, Falkirk, including twice against Celtic. I watched them against, can't remember. Watched them a few times anyway. And they fight for everything, Xander, including Wednesday night. I thought they were brilliant. They just didn't score a goal. But they looked quick on the counter and all that. They fight for everything. I'm going to back them for a win here. I'm going to back them for a 2-1 win against Kilmarnock.
Yeah. I think Falkirk will beat them as well, John. 2-1 to Falkirk. All right, okay, let's get to this one, John. I wanted to have a wee word on this. Livingston against Hibs. The Rangers and Hibs game the other night. Now, to be sitting in your home ground, getting beat 1-0 off let's be honest, a poor Rangers team, and you get a penalty given to you with 10 seconds to go, and all you need to do is rattle that ball into the net to get a 1 each draw at home. And to miss that penalty, John, is absolutely disgusting, to be honest with you. You should not be missing a penalty. At the last kick of the ball, it was the last kick of the ball. You should not be missing that, John, to earn yourself and your teammates a credible draw at home against the Rangers, John. And the penalty was missed, and Rangers won the game 1-0, John. And you know what happens when they win games, John? The press will absolutely love it. They're the best team since sliced bread, blah, blah, blah. But pathetic for Hibs, John, missing that penalty. I know anybody can miss a penalty, but get your best man on the park to take that penalty, John, and rattle it into the net, hit it low and hard, but they missed it.
I never seen it. I can't comment on it. Was it a save or did they hit it by the post? Or?
I don't know. I just know they missed it, John. I never seen it either.
I didn't see it, but I know it was Jamie McGrath.
Jamie McGrath, yeah.
That missed the penalty, but that's poor, isn't it? Especially when you've got that chance last kick of the ball. If that's me taking a penalty last kick of the ball, I don't know what happened with the penalty, but if that's me taking it, it's going high into the roof of the net with pace. Yeah, well, that, John, I did read that he hit it low with no pace at the goalkeeper's height, and it was saved by the goalkeeper. Pathetic, absolutely pathetic, to be honest with you. Anyway, John, we move on. Livingston Hibs, John, what are you saying? After that, I hope Livingston turn them over anyway. I'll go for a 1-0 Livingston win. Yeah, I think Hibs will beat them, Livingston. Yeah, but that plastic pitch, mind you, isn't it? But 2-0 win for Hibs for me in that one. And the last one on the predictor, John, we'll wrap this up in a wee minute. Last one on the predictor.
Martipello's Clydebank against Celtic B. Don't know why I said that, by the way. 3 o'clock on Saturday, John. Clydebank. I didn't even know Clydebank were still in existence, to be honest with you. Clydebank against Celtic B, John. What do you think?
Where did you get that? Martipello's Clydebank?
He used to have shares in Clydebank, didn't he?
Did he? I couldn't.
Aye, he did.
He's a blue nose, isn't he?
I think he is, aye. But anyway.
Yes, he definitely is. Because I remember when they were doing their tour and they played at Celtic Park, wet, wet, wet. And the slogan for their tour when they were playing at Celtic Park was playing at home, away.
Aye, that's it. Aye. But no, I think he had shares in Clydebank at one point anyway. Who cares?
I can't stand him, by the way. Absolutely guff. Wet, wet. You know, he must be one of the worst bands I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, pretty poor. Pretty embarrassing, actually, copying other people's songs. And that. Anyway, John, give me a prediction. What do you think about it? What do you think, pal?
They are poor, aye. Brutal. Absolute brutal. Caught up in a wishing well.
Not bad, actually.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, I've never liked anything they've done. I don't dislike the guy, not against him, but I just don't like that kind of music, that kind of whimsical pop music, if you like, you want to call it that. The same with Deacon Blue, by the way, Scottish bands. I don't like Scottish bands. Deacon Blue, Wet, Wet, Wet. Who's the other ones? I liked Big Country when they were quite good way back in the 80s. Other Scottish bands, the Bluebells. We don't know what all this blue stuff comes from.
Where do you think?
The Bluebells, they're actually Celtic supporters though.
Yeah.
A couple of Scottish, Simple Minds, never liked him either. Promised you a head hole.
The Rangers used to sing about Bluebells, didn't they?
The Bluebells and the blue.
What colour were they? The Bluebells?
They were blue. They were definitely blue, aye. In their eyes, Bluebells are blue. I mean, full marks for observation.
Right, John, let's get this off you then. Let's get this predictor done and dusted. Clydebank, Celtic B. What are you thinking?
Clydebank to win. Oh, no, Clydebank, they're guff. I mean, going to watch Clydebank years ago at the Royal Stadium, Kilbowie Park. I don't know if they still play there, but I'm talking about when I was away. I think it was 12 or something. Went there, Kilbowie Park. But the place was mobbed with Celtic fans, so I remember that. Anyway, Clydebank against Celtic B. I'll go for a Celtic B win in this one to win 3-2.
I think it'll be a comfy win for the B team. 2-0 for me. Right, John, that wraps that up. Good luck to you, good luck to me, good luck with everybody in the competition for this weekend's Glasgow Derby. Get your guess in, one guess each to win the fantastic prize. 90 minutes only, remember, as well. Extra time does not count, so we're looking for the score at full time only after 90 minutes. Right, John, let's get a sum up for you then, buddy. Glasgow Derby on Sunday, how important is it, and how do you think it's going to go?
I really don't know. I know how important it is. It's very important, but I don't know how it's going to go because Celtic right now, totally unpredictable. Mark O'Neill's taking control of the team right now, so that kind of leaves us in the position of which Celtic is going to show up here. We know what Martin O'Neill's like in derby games. He likes a derby win, Martin. This is a different Celtic team that's going to play against the Rangers this time, remember. The boys look up for it. And like I said earlier, the boys look like there's a weight off their shoulders, whatever's been happening in Celtic with Brendan. But to me, it just looks like the Celtic players have got freedom to do what they want on the park now, which they never had before. For that reason, I think Celtic will go on and win it. Maybe eat my words there, but two bad teams right now, Xander. Both teams, they're no great. But I think Celtic will edge this one. I've got a feeling Celtic's going to edge this one. I've said this to you all week. I think Celtic will edge this one, and I'm not going to change my mind. I just think Celtic, there's a wee spark being lit since Brendan Rodgers left, and that was evident on Wednesday. You could see a different animal altogether. So, but we don't know what this Rangers team are going to be like. I've not seen them since their new manager took over. So, the first time I getting a look at them. Oh no, I seen them against Bran Flakes. They never looked that good, to be honest with you, but look, this is a big game. We'll wait and see what Rangers show up. Is it going to be more of the same of what we've seen this season? Or have they got a wee lift for Hibs missing a last second penalty?
Yeah,
we'll
that's it. Yeah, that's it. And I think they will get a lift from that. Although Hibs deserved at least a point out of that game. Rangers very lucky again, like Hearts, very lucky to get the 3 points. But that's what it is, John. That's football, isn't it? I just want a wee quick thank you to everybody that leaves their comments and all the new subscribers as well. Thank you to them. Subscriptions gone up nicely. Comments, plenty of comments as well. Thank you, everybody. Comments will return on Monday. Got a wee bit more time on Monday, folks, to do plenty of comments. So they will return on Monday when we do the post-match reaction to Celtic against Rangers in the Glasgow Derby at Hampden on Sunday. So thanks for coming on, John. Thank you very much, buddy. It was quite interesting that. We'll chat a wee bit more on Monday, buddy. Enjoy the game, pal.
Hail, Xander. I'll speak to you Monday.
Hail. See you all later. Thanks for now.